Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 12 of What's in Your Earbuds. I can't believe we're saying that. And it is also actually our last episode of the year that we're doing as a live. And I'm just super excited to be here for what started as a concept back in July. And yeah. I mean, that says it all. It's been such a blast getting everyone's submissions, and we have a lot of shout outs. This episode is about some of the cool stuff we've heard. It's kind of a recap. We're going to talk about holiday songs, but we want to touch up on some of the amazing submissions we've gotten over time. And before we get into the show, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Friends of the pod, thank you so much for tuning in. This is one of our 8 shows, soon to be 9 shows on the platform. We have Running Tales with Craig Lewis. We have Beyond the Finish Line with my good friend Joe Hardin over here. We have our Fireside Chat and our Fiery Embers, our Caffeinated Coaching with Lori Hawk, who's also a co-owner of Run Try Bike. We have the Enduring Minds Men's Mental Health podcast with Evan Birch and our good founder Jason Bahamundi. And there's something for everybody. Oh, we got Food Fight Friday with Adam Lee of Community Trail Running. Shout out to him. We just have such a variety of shows ranging from 10 minutes to an hour. There's something for everybody. And if you're enjoying these episodes, please support our creators and support our platform with a like, rate, subscribe, and review, and or participate. Be a part of these. We do these conversations live because we want the community to be a part of these conversations. We have a fireside chat coming up tomorrow with CC Tellez, and we have a recorded episode with Natalie Crawford, the last Running Tales episode of the year, coming out on Thursday on the pod. You might have seen a reel from that amazing episode. Craig wanted to sneak that one in because it's an incredible story, and he had to get that recording out some way, somehow. Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you before we get started on some of these shouts and to get a few words about what your overall experience has been with these 12 episodes of What's in Your Earbuds.
Oh man. Um, let me back up and say, did you see the intro to the last Food Fight Friday? Like,
Ooh.
I was absolutely losing it watching Jason. You could tell Jason was fighting for his life on that intro with Adam's hat. By the way, that was like I was crying laughing at that. So yeah, this like you said, this was like a concept between me and you and Adam Turre. I always have to shout at Adam because I mean we just like to talk about music, right? It's kind of the tie that binds a lot of us, Craig, and like we just kind of were kind of just chatting about music and different group chats, and it's just been awesome. So my experience, like, was that the next question? My experience is like, how amazing is this? Like you said, it was just like kind of a fun idea, and I always like to do like take inventory of like the tally because we have 6 hours and 40 minutes as of today. Um, 23 playlist saves. We have a new playlist saved today, and we have 20 collaborators, that's including you and me, on this playlist. And I love kind of being forced, not saying that's a bad thing, in a way to like listen to music I would never normally listen to. And this is like a beautiful example of that. Um, like, look at like, I wish I knew a tally of the genres. So this has just been incredible stuff I would never listen to, and it's when you dig in, you're like, wow, this is like a great tune. Like, and it's kind of amazing how some of this music that I what normally wouldn't listen to has moved me in some way. And I think that's just like that just kind of like sums up the beauty of like our community and like music. It's just like I always like to say, it's kind of like that universe. Like, doesn't matter where you're from or what language you speak. It's like music is just like this universal language, and I think that's so cool. And you may not even understand what the song is saying, but you can at least extract something that will like really it'll like touch you in some way. Like, so I just think that's so cool. That's been my experience this year. I'm like really, really blown away by the response of this, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing the contributions we've gotten from our community from the get go. It's been like more than I could have ever imagined. We've had so much fun putting out song submissions, getting them back, bringing guests on our show. And I'm excited to shout a bunch of people out. There's so many to count, from people who were contributing answers to people who were part of our episodes as guests to people who added to the playlist. There's a shout out for everyone. So I want to kick it off by shouting out our guests on the show because we had some really amazing episodes. We had, oh gosh, I think 5 of our 12 episodes included some sort of guests, starting with our good friend Adam Ture, who was mentioned earlier, Lucid Motion Fitness. He was our first guest on the show and was actually one of the people involved in the conceptualization of what's in your earbuds. So we knew we had to bring Adam on the show, and that was just such a fantastic episode. And he gave us some really good, like, I want to say it was almost like, I think it was Clock Cleaner was the band
Clock
name.
cleaner. Yeah.
But if we're talking about music that pushed my boundaries, that was one of them for sure because it was unexpectedly super cool. And then next, I want to shout out the sobriety roundtable that we did in tribute to Kenneth Anderlich's 1,800-mile run from Washington, D.C. Back to Texas, which he successfully completed for Haven for Hope. And Joe and I are sober athletes, and that episode really meant a lot to us. To have a conversation about there's intricacies of like not only sober music or like music about sobriety, but like songs that stuck out to you because they were part of core memories during your sobriety. And hearing Dianthe, Jason Hanley, Kenneth Anderlich, and his crew's music and talking about it was just one of the coolest conversations for me in the year. I wanted to get your thoughts on that one, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, that was just like, I've never been more like kind of in awe of such an amazing group of, it's like we had so many awesome, like so many awesome stories and like so many years of like just, I mean, I think what did we tally? It was like over 50 years of sobriety basically on a round table, and that's beautiful. The music was awesome, and it was really really cool watching Ken. Like I was glued to his Facebook updates the entire time he was making that journey. That was so cool. And the music, it was like so unique. I hope we could do something like that again someday because that was just like we captured lightning in a bottle with that episode.
Yeah, we'll certainly have to do another sobriety roundtable, just because there are so many amazing stories out there. I think we'll even have to, on the topic of like, talking to people like Jason Hanley and Kenneth Anderlich, who are both big advocates for men's mental health, we'll probably even have to do an Enduring Minds crossover at some point related to music because men's mental health definitely has a music genre too, or like a scope for music for sure.
Yeah,
I, I want to hand this next one over to you because this guest was somebody that you brought on the show. They've actually recently just rebranded, but it was my first Ultrapod.
yeah.
Is that no longer? And Christina Harriman was fun to have on the show. Goes by the Instagram handle Birdie Loves to Run, which I love. But yeah, talk about our episode with Christina, Joe.
Yeah, so my friend Chris came on. I was on Chris's podcast back in January, and since me and Chris have been, we share a board seat together at the ITR. I've been hiking with Chris and her partner Jack, and just an amazing person. And she came on the podcast and dropped a lot of good songs. Like that was, I mean, not that none of them were, but I felt like that was like one of the most thought provoking music discussions I've had in a while, and she just dropped some like good Tom Petty stuff. She shared her experience with seeing Billy Strings twice, 2 nights in a row, and I just always loved Chris's like insights on just about everything. But I didn't know that. I mean, we talked about music a lot when we spent a very long day on the Knobstone Trail together recently, but her depth of music is really impressive. So, and I just had a really good time getting to know Chris, and I appreciate your coming on because that gave me a lot of good stuff to think about, a lot of good tunes. So yeah, and shout out to Chris and Carly. They are rebranding the show. It's going to be called Rest Day Reflections. I'm really fired up. They're like the two nicest people to talk to. So just give that podcast a listen also, because they are two very lovely people.
I'm excited to catch Rest Day Reflections. That's going to
Yeah.
be really fun. Uh, and our last guest that I want to give a shout out to is actually one of the co-owners of Run Try Bike. We, for episode 11, had Lori Hawk on the show. Uh, and my highlight from that is just the amazing story from the running event of just like talking about the choir version of Life Prayer, which if you haven't watched Deadpool versus Wolverine, it was in there on the soundtrack, which I didn't realize until after the fact. But oh man, that was an
Oh wow,
incredible
I haven't
moment, and
seen that
you
yet. I
could.
guess I'm gonna have to.
It was just, it's funny. I see it all over Instagram now on Reels and stuff, the Like a Prayer choir version, and then just it's just, oh man, it's just the funniest. Like, I've had a lot of bingo card moments, unexpected bingo cards in 2024. That was not one of them. But one thing I will say is it definitely adds to the fact that Jason is definitely the dad and we are the annoying kids in the ownership group.
We're just like a bunch of wind up toys, right?
Yeah, we're just going, we're high energy. Jason is like, make it stop, you know?
Could be a
Uh,
fly on the wall for that one.
Oh man, it was funny. We could not stop laughing, and it was fun retelling that story. Lori had some great song submissions as well, and a handful of those were actually added to the playlist. So you have to go check those out. Um, Now, the next group of people that I want to shout. Oh, we have one more. Last but not least, Elliot Matson from Folklore. Elliot was somebody I connected to, gosh, back in like uh, July or June. And he was just somebody that was just starting up his business, has a background in media and like videography and SEO and all that cool stuff. And um, 3 weeks later, I was at an REI. Elliot never goes to REI. I was at an REI in Portland on my way to the Bigfoot 200, and Elliot just walks in while I'm in the line, and I'm like, I just met this guy 3 weeks ago, and the dude just has cool energy. I love the stuff, the persona he puts on for Folklore, and the way, his brand binds into mythology. Like, I just love his creativity, and we had a really fun episode with him when we brought him on for the Halloween special, and he put some cool stuff in there, including a throwback to 30 Rock. What was it? Bar Mitzvah, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That
yeah.
was a good episode.
I had him on my podcast. Oh crud, episode
He did.
10? 10. I don't know. I actually don't remember. 11, 10 or 11. Yeah, super rad guy.
Yeah, he's cool, a really cool person, and I would encourage anybody to cross paths with Elliot and check out the Folklore gear. I mean, it's made for what he calls athleisure. Like you can go from the office right to the trails, and it's got that sense of adventure. So definitely check it out. Um, Now I want to jump into. I'm going to start with our man Craig Lewis from this list of like people we've talked to. And Joe, you've obviously got a few friends and also your own family that contributed to
Yeah.
our playlist. Let me start by giving you a staggering statistic. Our Everyday Athlete podcast playlist, which started when we started the show just a few months ago, is now up to 6 hours and 40 minutes. Think about that. That is the work of the people in this community submitting songs. Like, I, we're gonna shoot this thing to the moon in 2025. Like, uh, I I want to ask, like, what are your thoughts on that, Joe?
I mean, I can't believe that. Like, but yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm just blown away because I remember seeing it like 5 hours, and I was just like, we can get this thing to six, right? Like, big goal would be 6 hours by the end of the year, and then we went from 5 to almost 7 now. Like, that just happened, so that's pretty. Like, that might have been the last like month and a half, and that's just
Yeah,
so cool. It's um, like 23 people. Yeah, not so. Yeah, 20 people have contributed to it, and like 23 other people have saved it too. Like I think that's really cool. It's like I think like what something going back to my last podcast was like what something that Scotty said. Like imagine having that many people in your room. So like that many people took time out of their day to like click on a link and save our playlist, and then maybe even add a song or two. That's huge. So on a scope, that's a big deal, and I'm just really blown away by that. I say we can hit 14 hours by the end of
Yeah,
2020.
we
Let's Yeah, by the end of next year, I say 14 hours as well. We can do it, right? We can all band together on this.
can band together on this for
Yeah,
sure. There's definitely enough song content out there to make that happen and
yeah,
enough cool people to make it happen. Speaking of more cool people, I want to shout out our man Craig Lewis for adding songs to the playlist. He had some good submissions in there. Uh, we obviously had a few submissions from Ryan Reynolds and a good friend of the pod, Oregon Dad, a good friend of the community, Josh Cronin,
yeah, yeah.
and
Shout out
Cheryl
to Josh.
Silver as well. A big Cheryl we've known for years and years, and um, she just has an incredible story and is just one of the just brings a bright light to this community and is just encouraging to everyone. One of the most active people on the Strava group too. Just love
Yeah,
seeing her work. Um, but
yeah. I
we
just
also,
extra shout out to Cheryl because she's like like Cheryl's like the most encouraging person that I know on social media. Like I can't wait to hopefully meet Cheryl in real life and share some miles. Like so, yeah. Extra shout out to Cheryl and Josh too. I just want to guess back you up on that.
oh, 100%. Yeah, love both of them. They're two of the biggest contributors in our community, especially Cheryl, having known her for years, but more recently, Josh has done some really cool stuff with us. Um, Now, I want to turn it over to you
Yeah.
because there are a handful of people that contributed from your family and people that you know in real life contributed as well to the playlist.
Yeah. So recently, my buddy Doug Figless, my man Doug, me and Doug have been good friends for quite a while. He's a fellow sober warrior. He's an absolute badass. Over the years, he's unintentionally became my guru. He's a published author. I don't. I could talk about Doug for. And he added some cool songs, some good Christmas songs, some Star Wars Christmas songs, which makes me love Doug even more. We off and on host a podcast together, the Road Recovery Runners. So shout out to Doug. My buddy Jason Hardwood from work, he added like 14 songs to this playlist. I think he said he'd be listening tonight. My daughter Natalie added some songs, added some good jams on there. My wife contributed to this, which is amazing. And also, one of my son's friends shouted out. My son has a Spotify account where he writes rap music, actually pretty good stuff. So one of his songs is on the playlist. So one of my own son's songs is on the playlist. That's really cool, and I'm proud of him. I mean, he's chasing his dreams on Spotify, and he's getting some. Actually, pretty impressed with the amount of monthly views listens he gets. My buddy Benny has contributed some songs. Josh Johnson has contributed some songs. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but uh, yeah, this is just overwhelming. Evan contributed some songs. Evan Burge. I just met him recently, but yeah, this has been awesome. This has been great. So shout out to
Yeah.
everybody that I actually know in real life, taking time out of their day to add to this. So
Yeah, it's made for an incredible playlist, and I just love the amazing contributions. I think recently we, just to add one more to this awesome list, we had Ryan Reynolds add a couple songs too. Shout out to Ryan, who was just in the best of for a story that Joe and I can really relate to, which is a weight loss journey to getting into marathons.
yeah, this has been awesomely overwhelming. This is so cool. So yeah, just thank you everybody for all these. I want to get to the point where I have enough to run a 100 miler and only listen to this playlist. I'm gonna put a big goal out there.
If we get it up to 20 hours, we can get to Jason's PR. If we get it to
Yeah,
36, we can get to my floor.
I need like 30 hours. If we can get to 30 hours, but
If we can, it would be cool to get one that could get us through like Halloween,
yeah,
especially like to hit that 30-hour mark. I'm actually pretty confident we can get pretty close to it. 15 hours for sure. I'm sure we can cover half of Halloween.
half of it, yeah. At least because I don't think I can listen to it. Like Jason is obviously he has like the mental wherewithal of I don't know how he did. What did he do? 4 hours straight of the same song, and I man, yeah. So he is, yeah. That's awesome. So
Yeah, shout out to Jason and Dance Monkey for that one. That was another cool challenge we'll have to do again.
yeah,
Uh,
eventually I'm about to take on that challenge because I said I would. I'm just like, oh no, like what did I get myself into?
before we close this episode out, we have a question I want to ask you is the question we ask every episode, which is what's in your earbuds, and do you have a holiday song?
Oh, you know, I love that. I can't remember the name of it. I love that Trans-Siberian Orchestra song too, but not the Christmas like Kirsten Sarajevo song. Shout out to Chris Cedar. It's pretty awesome, but I can't remember what that. What's that like? It's like the standard holiday Trans-Siberian Orchestra song. Oh,
Ooh,
I don't know why I can't think of this right now. Sorry, my brain just like absolutely erased. But oh, here we go. Sorry, I'll just look it up real quick. Yeah, it's called Christmas Canon, right? Isn't that the standard? I'm almost certain that's what it's called. Don't hold me to that, but it's got like that. It's almost like a hard rock orchestra Christmas song, and that thing gets me fired up every year when I hear it. So that's
ooh,
probably my Christmas song.
that's a good one. I'm gonna have to listen to that. For me, it is gotta be the Christopher Lee metal album is the big one for me.
Oh yeah,
The Christmas metal album, that's a huge one for me. Um, if I had to pinpoint one song or one soundtrack or playlist, it would might be something from Die Hard because Die Hard is probably, in my opinion, the best Christmas movie of all time. No matter what people say, it takes place during Christmas. You know, it's iconic. It's got iconic lines. I feel like anything from Die Hard is my jam.
absolutely. Yeah, I back you 100%. It's a Christmas movie. It's one of the best Christmas. It's the best Christmas movie. I'll say it. Yeah, I'll join you on that one.
Oh, it's so good. We just watched it yesterday. I mean, it's a yearly classic for me, right up there with Home Alone.
Yeah,
Is one too. But at the we might have to launch a movie podcast at some point because of all this. I mean, Elliot kind of got us going down that line, but man. Um, And last thing I want to say, really, before I get into some housekeeping and close out the show, is I just want to thank you for being a part of this music journey with me. When you and Adam came up with this idea, like I love music and I wanted to be a part of it, and we're definitely going to have Adam back on the show at some point, maybe not once or but twice or maybe more, because he is a big connoisseur of music. But going back to what I was saying, thank you for being my co-host for this and uh, for sharing my passion for music and helping me like continue to like challenge my boundaries of what good music is because I feel like that's what this show is really helping us do and grow with.
yeah. I mean, I really look. Not that I don't love like my all the podcasting that I get to do, but I really look forward to this one. It's like, yeah, it's like you said, we get like a chance to listen to stuff. I mean, not. I mean, I probably wouldn't have never intentionally. Not. I love Star Wars, by the way. I usually have Star Wars socks on most days of the week, but I probably wouldn't have even dove into that Star Wars Christmas if it wasn't for the show. Or shout out to Cat Empire, which lives in infamy on this playlist. Like I never would have heard of that stuff. So, and thank you for doing it with me. This is awesome. Like this is just a lot of fun, and it looks like, and you can tell by how big the list is getting and the engagement that I think other people are having fun with us, and that's what makes this so special.
Exactly. And I could not think of a better note to end the show on. The important thing is having fun as a community and being able to get everyone's song submissions and to celebrate them all together and be engaged in this experience together. And I'm looking forward to what 2025 brings for the show. Because we are on a bi-weekly basis, that means that we have 12 episodes now and we have 26 more coming on this amazing journey.
Heck
And
yeah.
I'm excited to see where this show goes. And I just can't wait for this next song submissions. And before we end the show, I want to give a shout out to all of our other podcast shows and obviously my co-owners and just everybody who engages in all of our podcasts and makes the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network possible. We've got some great episodes coming up for you. Obviously, tomorrow, the fireside chat with, I'm losing count of how many episodes in that one, but with CC Thomas. We just had a great episode come out yesterday with From Beyond the Finish Line with Scotty Coomer, which was fantastic. Scotty's going to have to be on What's in Your Earbuds. There's so much wisdom in that episode. I would
Yeah.
encourage everyone to go check it out on the pod. Um, Today, this morning, actually, no, as a matter of fact, in a half an hour, there's a podcast of Food Fight Friday coming out. If you haven't watched it on YouTube already, like, I would go check it out. It's 10 minutes, but you'll have a chance to listen to it at 4:30 Pacific time on Monday, as of this recording, half an hour from now. Um, and we got plenty of more amazing stuff coming from you guys. There'll be a bit of a holiday pause as we go celebrate the holidays, but back come January, we are back to rocking and rolling. So
Yes.
just want to thank everybody for just making this possible. And I guess I'll turn it over to you for any last words, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you captured it so well. Just thank you everybody for making this possible. Yeah, I'm having such a good time. And keep these submissions coming. I know we have a holiday pause, but I always encourage anybody, if you just like have the song you just have to send to this playlist, send it to me or ask for. I've had people ask me for links, and that's cool. I'll send anybody a link. Like I'll take the time to talk about music with anybody. Thank you everyone for making this possible. This is cool. I mean, this is amazing. So, and I can't wait. I can't wait for this playlist to. It's going to go to the moon in 2025. So, thank
Yeah.
you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. And keep on jamming, keep on listening to your music. And until next time on What's in Your Earbuds with episode 13.